Why Earth sucks compared to the planet Hestia.
Earth seems like a paradise for life, but it's actually kind of mid. Big parts of it are covered by hostile deserts of ice, fire, rock, or darkness. Could there be a planet that's not just more suitable for life, but ideal? So perfect for the emergence of life, filled with not just biomass, but also biodiversity, that Earth is a barren desert compared to them. We've found a new and weird type of planet, super-Earths. Planets larger than Earth that have the potential to not only host life, but to be super habitable. Hestia, after the Greek goddess of the comfy home, the best possible planet for life in the universe. First of all, we want a perfect star. The perfect star for the perfect world. The perfect stars for life might be orange dwarfs.
But I'm thinking to myself, like, why in the world is mid bad? Why is it bad? What's the reason for us not being able to accept that the Earth that we have is the best opportunity that we'll probably ever get in our entire life? Why do we need a super Earth?
So here's our perfect star, an orange dwarf, born 3 billion years ago in a calm galactic neighborhood. For the next tens of billions of years, it will be super stable. Among dead rock planets and massive gas giants, one planet is our super habitable super Earth, Hestia, where life can thrive like nowhere else in the universe. The perfect planet, a super habitable world. Hestia's radius is 1.3 times Earth's, so it has 70% more surface area, a lot more space for life.
And a lot more space for death. And a lot more space for people growing opinions and changing their opinions to decide that the Earth's not big enough. You know what I'm saying?
With almost twice Earth's mass and 20% more surface gravity, walking on it you'd feel 20% heavier. Unfortunately, it's a hot, dead desert. Like Mars and Venus today, it's still missing two things. Firstly, a magnetic field that protects Hestia from solar storms and the cosmic radiation that sterilize its surface and blow its atmosphere away like poor Mars. So, deep inside, Hestia gets a massive metallic core spinning in a liquid mantle that creates a magnetic field of exactly the right strength for super strong protection. And Hestia needs plate tectonics to mix its surface around. Venus turned into a 470-degree hell because without tectonic plates breaking and mixing, the tension and heat below its surface unloads in apocalyptic volcanic eruptions. Continental plates moving into the depths also remove CO2 from the surface, which is great because excess CO2 makes the atmosphere heat up too much.
Sounds familiar.
And they bring up a vital mix of water, minerals, and elements that life can feast on. Each upgrade comes with trade-offs life has to work with. We want Hestia to have mild seasons that create migration, boom and bust cycles, and evolutionary pressure, so we tilt its axis slightly and give it 36-hour days, and 4 small moons that hang like pearls in the night sky. Moons are crucial because with the right resonance, they create stability, avoiding overly punishing disruptions.
The reason that is day and night and night and day, and that's the system that we work on, is not because of the evolutionary environmental change and then we adapted. No. Studies have shown that if you take a person and put them in a dark room, they're going to sleep the exact same hours. Oddly convenient to be the exact same hours of a person who follows the sleep cycle of the environment. Oddly, I thought it was just because it was biologically manifesting in our life. Why do we sleep for only 8 to 10 hours? Prove it to me that evolution can change biologically, that humans and their genetic makeup can change based on their environment. Prove that to me. You cannot, because other things in that same environment change in different ways. That has nothing to do with biology.
The perfect land, wet, isolated, warm. Earth has one huge downside. Most of its land is bound in large continents, whose central areas are very far away from water, creating deserts with scarce resources and hostile environments. So for Hestia, we maximize coastlines and avoid megacontinents. We'll give it many fragmented continental plates, creating a geology that's ideal for producing long island arcs. Hestia is now an archipelago world with a few dozen continents and millions of islands of all sizes and shapes. All of its land has access to water, salt or fresh, without a single desert, creating the maximum land surface area for life. Hestia's biomass on land is also supercharged because we'll make it 5 degrees Celsius warmer than Earth. This doesn't sound like much, but as we know, Earth has plenty of spaces that are uncomfortably cold for much of the year, while tropical rainforests have ideal conditions for life. On Earth, they hold more biomass than any other land ecosystem, and Hestia is nothing.
What would that do to the environment? What would that do to the animals? What would these animals turn into if you believe in the evolutionary theory? And how would that affect human life? Would they die off? And if so, why is that optimal? Why is this better? You're still not showing, you're just showing something that is clearly exactly like or nearly identical to the Earth that we already have and saying that is better, objectively.
But tropical forests and ice-free polar regions. Hestia's islands have hundreds of thousands of unique habitats, with hundreds of thousands of little private niches to fill, each home to unique creatures that are ultra-specialized for it. All possible variations on a theme manifest in different species, one stranger than the next. On Earth, tropical forests like the ones in these islands house 50% of all species on just 10% of its land. The isolated tropical islands have given nature thousands of attempts at building funny tree-type things that densely cover Hestia. On Earth, plants are green to best catch energy from the sun, but with Hestia's orange dwarf, they take on darker shades to hoard the fainter light. We could spend hours diving into cacti forest islands where slow-moving hunter plants shoot poison needles at screeching feathered lemurs, or the fungi forests of the high plateaus dominated by armored centipede lizards.
Why? You showed me more space, you gave me a bigger planet and a closer sun. Tell me how that very specific change allowed these plants to be able to shoot arrows at people or other animals, because what you just described sounded quite a lot like Earth.
But we should move on to another ecosystem that Earth can only dream of: the sky.
Okay.
The best possible sky, another world to inhabit. Hestia's large mass holds gases much firmer than Earth, so its atmosphere is much thicker, with just under 1.5 times the pressure, but much richer in oxygen and CO2. This could be catastrophic for life because high levels of oxygen make wildfires more likely and more devastating. But since Hestia is so warm and humid, evaporation produces so much rain that wildfires never get powerful enough to wipe out ecosystems. The upsides are clearly worth it. On Earth, the size of animals that breathe by diffusion is limited, which might be a good thing for us, but on Hestia, all kinds of weird creatures can grow huge, like the four-legged insect megaphants, dominating the largest continent. All that oxygen also lets animals have a faster metabolism.
You're showing me that this is not a better life. The safest, best chance of human life and animal life is if humans are in it and at the top of the food chain.
And sustain higher activity levels. Predators hunt more explosively, prey flees more dynamically, especially in a completely new dimension conquered by life. Up. In Earth's thin atmosphere, flight costs a lot of energy, but in Hestia's super dense air, it's super cheap. Despite the higher surface gravity, animals need much smaller wings and less energy to stay afloat. Over billions of years, thousands of branches of Hestia's evolutionary tree have discovered flight, and the skies are full of flying animals of all sizes.
Would we evolve? That's my question. Would we evolve? I'm thinking that this is a better Earth for us. If we want to live a better life, go here. Like us, go here. This is the better life. Will we evolve to have wings? Because it seems like a lot of animals are evolving to have wings. If so, how would that be a better life? Maybe it's because of hindsight of like basically I have this life, so I don't know what it's like to even have that. Maybe that's why I have this opinion, but I just don't think this is better.
Like this sky whale shooting through the clouds, swallowing millions of tiny bird-like critters. Enormous as they are, they never touch the ground except to lay eggs, and when they die. The thick atmosphere also does another thing really well: transfer sound. Hestia is not a quiet place. Anywhere you are, animals are communicating, warning each other, or screaming for mates. This created super weird adaptations.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, that would just all right. Now I really wouldn't want to go there. So now we got flying bugs, annoying bugs that I just gotta deal with, and this is quote unquote better life. Heck no, man.
Like hunters not trying to sneak up, but masking their direction of attack with disturbing and distracting noises. But we haven't even talked about the largest ecosystem. The best possible oceans, as many edges as possible. Earth's oceans make up most of its surface and are on average 3,700 meters deep, but sunlight can only reach 200 meters deep. This sunlight zone is the only place plankton...
And my question is, would there even be a need for us to be intelligent? Because I don't really know the scientific theory of why they think that we got intelligent, that other animals didn't. But I would like to believe in this scenario, we wouldn't need to be intelligent. So I was thinking like military, like how that affect life in itself, like this war or this group of people fighting each other and like being so close to each other. It's no real incentive like, okay, that person's super far away, like it might be a whole different world over there. With the islands being so close to each other, like it's kind of like boring, you know?
The basis for the food web can turn sunlight into sugar, so it's where 90% of marine species live. 95% of the sea is in permanent darkness, much of it an abyssal desert. So we don't want Hestia to have as much water as Earth. We do want to cover most of its surface, but it should be shallow. Almost all of its oceans should be continental shelves 1 to 200 meters deep. Virtually all of the ocean and its floor is a sunlight zone. There are downsides to shallow oceans, of course. They heat and cool faster, which creates stronger seasons and more storms. But again, disruptions drive life to specialize and make it more diverse. Hestia's oceans house breathtakingly vast ecosystems. Corals form living megacities stretching over thousands of kilometers, home to trillions of animals competing for real estate.
I just don't see why having a shorter ocean being better than having a bigger ocean. Like, what would that do to the environment? Like, what would be the tidal shift and like waves and stuff like that? I don't know. Just the ships. I don't know.
Pseudo crabs and fish lizards and whatever this thing is supposed to be. Bordering the megacities are kelp and algae colonies filled with life like tropical rainforests. But there's another biodiversity supercharger: coastlines, where land and sea ecosystems meet. Nutrients mix, birds eat fish, and crocodiles hunt gorillas. Even if they...
What is the scientific explanation for animals changing color and being different colors while still being simultaneously in the same environment with the same risk and all these things that y'all say biologically and genetically make up to change and then shift and to be in what pretty much whatever you want? I guess at will with their mind, they can do those things. How intelligent is our genetic makeup? Does it have like a mind of its own to like, okay, I see the environment, I feel the environment, I must change? You know, that's one of the biggest like drawbacks to one of those theories like that I personally disagree with. I like Earth, and I think Earth could be built upon and that we're put here for a reason. My belief obviously is, well, not obviously, but my belief is God created everything, and then that's the reason. That makes sense in my mind. That's what I put my faith in. Anything other than that kind of sounds a little ridiculous, but well, if you guys enjoy that video, make sure you like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you would like to see. Peace.